I'm doing this for distribution purposes, particularly those in the Christian community, because I grew up in a Christian home. Okay, I was baptized in a Methodist church, even though I'm an Indian. Um, and I went to Sunday school. I read the Bible. I learned all about Jesus. And one time when I went through using drugs to kill trauma. You know, the escape hatch, right? Actually, when I first did it, when you believe that you're Superman because you're running on so much electrical voltage, right? You feel you're bulletproof. So, hey, what's that? Well, here, try this. What'll it do to me? Are you fearless? Yeah. Okay, so you learn, you experiment, right? You don't fear the unknown, right? Of course not, because you live in a universe that's based on what love is, which is what light is, which is forever. So that could be risky business, huh? I found out. So I had to recover from that pretty quick, get my energy back up and say, listen, I already run on the most powerful drug in the cosmos, right? Voltage, light. Most powerful light there is. A lot of fire, right? So I hope there's a lot of fire in everybody today, particularly for your children. And so this is sort of where I realized that a lot, when you read a lot of the scriptures, God is light, God is spirit, love your brother, and if you want to break down the physics of sort of how, you know, the hemispheres of the brain, the kingdom is within you and all the rest of that stuff, the light is within you, that's what love is, it starts with love, it starts with light, that's what we are, that's what love is in living spirit. That's all you need to know. Okay, the rest are all just stories about how that comes about, so there is some truth in there, okay? But the very idea that you need to go through somebody else in order to get to heaven is ass backwards. Heaven's already within you. And I know that because I experience that, because that's what I am. I live in a heavenly realm. And the reason that I know that is because I have so much love in my heart, which is a mountain of light. Okay? That's what love is. That's what creation is. Right? So it became an insult to my intelligence for me to believe that when I can look at all the things that he did and able to resurrect himself in spirit from dead flesh, well, yeah. What happened to the body? Where'd the spirit go? Well, that's what I am. I got spirit. I got a soul. So he ain't no different than I am. So I began comparing and saying, well, listen, I know a lot of guys that did far more than they did. Shamans, are you kidding? So this obviously begins an investigation into all this religious stuff and where's it all coming from, who wrote it. I wasn't there back then, so I got no idea whether the dates are correct or not. Well, how much time, how much energy you want to spend on finding out what's fact and what's fiction? But then again, that's up to you, because in a free will universe, what you believe is true is up to you, not me. So I realized to myself that, listen, you know, I'm already running on light, which is what love is. What more do you need? I got everything I need, right? I love losing mass density to go faster, and the easiest way to do that is give love to everything. Right? So you know that you're always in the light, right? Which means I'm not losing any light no matter where I go. You experience love everywhere you go. That's my normal realm, which is a heavenly realm. So it's always in my heart. And I knew that as a child, which I knew that that was my protection, because you're waging spiritual war against demons, vampires, ghoulies, warlocks, sorcerers on a multidimensional level, right? Okay. So the simple answer to that question is you got to keep recharging your battery when you're in war. That's what you are, you're an electrical appliance. So who's got the biggest battery to get a recharge? The girl on the planet. That's why we hang out in the trees. And that's just in the time that I just did this on the phone, could be a short class in a circle of light, holding hands with our hearts, okay, showing that much love around a redwood tree with 7-year-old children. And they learn fast. Imagine that. So obviously, there's a difference between what we experience and what the rest of everybody experiences here, particularly if they're in a state of fear, because they don't know. Because so many of the people on this planet that live in the civilization part of who they are, and us who live in the trees with her, there's going to be a big difference in the energy they experience and what we experience. And that's a difference in consciousness. Okay? So in that case, particularly when I'm in a place with this gospel mission, I went through being how do I put this, pounding down a lot of liquor in me for, what was it, off and on for about 10 years when I lost my 3-year-old son. Same stuff. You know, be acidic. Be as acidic as you can. Trying to escape the emotional pain, the trauma, and particularly for an empath. Okay? It crushes you. Okay? So it took me better part of 3 years to get all my light back. To kick that demon out. So if you've ever had any knowledge or experience dealing with people who've been in AA, or you've been a drunk yourself, then you know what a dry drunk is. Well, I'm not happy, but I'm sober. Well, Christianity is like a dry drunk, which is like, I read the book is telling me what God is, what light is, what Jesus is, and if I believe in all this stuff, then I get to go to heaven. So whatever shit I'm going through now, at least I know when I'm dead, I can experience what love is. Is that how it works? Jesus. That's another group. So they don't go where we go. So I figured that had to be said. Because Patty said that to me this morning. Not to me, but on a thread. And I realized, yeah, it's unfortunate, isn't it? You know, you want to give all your energy away to a single person? You know what I thought to myself? And I wrote this down in a journal. Imagine some other solar system, a galaxy that's 500 billion light years away, right? Never even heard of this guy named Jesus Christ. And these beings, okay, run 900 megahertz, okay, of electromagnetic energy, purple, that have more love to give to everything that's living. And you think that if they don't go through some other guy that they don't even know that's 500 billion light years away, that all of a sudden they're condemned? That's not only illogical, but stupid. It means they didn't even learn how energy works. That's how bad it is. It's programming. I remember Patty said one time, well, there's some truth in there, and there is a lot of lies in there. I can tell you a story. I got the amount of stories that I could tell that are in there are just like filling library after library after library. And I hand you that book, and I don't put nonfiction or fiction on it. When you read that book, your consciousness, okay, is in that story. You're experiencing what I wrote. That was what I was experiencing when I wrote it. And whether you experience it in energy, which is wave vibration, with the same energy that I was using that I wrote it with, if you're experiencing it the same wavelength that I wrote it with, then we're in harmony. Okay? So we live our stories based on musical notes. I love good music. Music that's in harmony with everything in the cosmos. So you know we got to be able to tune ourselves, okay, to the harmonic waves of the cosmos so that we are in harmony with all the cosmos because we love music and we love the light. Okay. So I thought to myself, this is pretty sad because the guy that cut me off this morning, you know, yesterday he was frantic. He wanted information because he had heard through the grapevine. Hey, Robert's got a lot of knowledge. Talk to him. He's up on all this stuff. He knows what's happening. So he came to me yesterday morning and he says, hey, you got a way to find out what Trump's doing and all this kind of stuff. I understand you. Basically, his message was, you're a source of intelligence. You want information? I'll give you information. These are information wars, which are wars over electrons. The electrons that you're running on. Okay? How much light you running? So when I started pounding away, the truth blocked me. Okay, well, see ya. Okay? So if you've ever listened to a story and he comes in there once every week to tell his story of how he went through drug addiction and all the other stuff, and he came to the Bible, and the Bible saved his ass. Okay? So remember, we go back to measuring. Measuring sticks. You ever watched all my videos, measuring sticks? We measure ourselves by how much love in the mirror we're giving to ourselves and to others. So we obviously can tell how much love that others are giving to themselves by looking at them. How happy are you? How fat are you? Right? And all the stuff that Dr. Robert Young talks about. Okay? I've always suggested him. So these are other measurements. You know? This is like I told this young man today. He was about 21 years of age. He said, hey, that makes a lot of sense. I said, well, think about it this way. You know what a black silicon wafer is, right? A disc. If you ever heard of a Perkin-Elmer machine, that basically prints a microcircuit onto a silicon wafer, and then it goes into a laptop or a phone or a calculator. And what does it do? It's a microprocessor, processing data. Well, that's what we do. Okay, so how much data are you processing? Well, how much light are you running? How much voltage is powering your system? Right? You experience the data. Light codes. So in this particular case, I said, well, listen, if you're an electrical appliance, you want to run on a lot of power, then I suggest you get hooked up with a battery in the planet, because she's who heals me. That's my recharging station. Okay? My heart is. Okay? But when I'm in a building with a lot of low-frequency energy, I got to go be with her for a couple of days. I call it a memory wipe and a reorientation. Remember the real world. I love to hang out with goddesses. Real ones. Power generators. So anyway, I love those that believe in their heart. Okay, the importance of love to everything and your children, and living a life in which you do it in such a way that serves you best, because it's serving you best. The chances are what it is that you provide and the way that you interface and express yourself with others is going to be at a higher frequency. And that means that others are going to love being around your energy, because that's what there is in the universe, is energy. Okay? So when you are energy, and if you love who you are, okay, then chances are others will feel that vibration, because you're taking good care of yourself and you know how to do it. This is a spiritual war, which is an energy war, which is an electrical war, which is a war over electrons, and information travels on electrons, and you are aware of it within your light. Well, how much information are you aware of? The faster you go, the more you're aware of. The larger the expanse of what's called band